Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
It is going great. And welcome back, all of our friends, to another episode of Hey, Buddy. And welcome back, my good buddy, the lovely, wonderful man himself, Alejandro Contreras.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I am back here on the Hey Buddy Network. That's right, the Hey Buddy Network, available on Patreon, www.heybuddy.com. Don't forget to check us out
WWE.
on myspreadshop.com. We're on MySpace, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. All social media.
MySpace. Yes. Usually only post MySpace recently. Well, you can check out those other ones.
But yeah, man, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to talk movies,
Absolutely.
shows, whatever we got. I'm ready
Excited to
talk.
just
Happy
talk to my friend. This is the only way that I get to have discussions with my friends anymore. So this is what we do. So, I mean, if you didn't know, that's the whole reason the show started, was just because I'd have long conversations with my friend Steve on my car rides usually, and we just talk about movies and everything that we've seen. We're like, hey, why don't we put a microphone to this? Because sometimes we make each other laugh or have good insight to things. So let's record our conversations. And that's what brought us Hey Buddy. And now it's brought other buddies on here for me to talk to. And yeah, we're on our way to episode 100. So it's going to be, I've been having a good time.
The triple digits are waiting
Yeah.
for you, Joshua.
I can't wait. It's that elusive 100. That's all I want to reach. Like I want to be there, but I don't want to shortchange any episode to get there. So
we're about quality and quality.
Yeah, that's right. We're about quality, trying to get to quantity.
That's right.
And that's the whole reason I went to the movie theater a couple more times this week.
What did Joshua watch at the movie theater?
And actually, I got out of the movies today.
Oh.
Because I went to the movie theater, and this is a recorded episode, but the people that don't know, a huge movie dropped today called Deadpool and Wolverine. And I did not see that. Because I already have plans to go see it with somebody, and I held back from seeing it as much as I want to, and I swerved, and I saw a poster for a movie I had never even heard of.
Interesting.
There was no marketing for this, and that is what made it interesting to me, and it's called Oddity. And it is a British English horror movie, low budget, and honestly is the first time I've seen it even playing at a movie theater. And so there's twin girls, and one of them and her husband move into this old creepy place, and she's there by herself one night, and like they had just moved in to the point where they have nothing. She pitched a tent in the house, and that's what she was going to sleep in that night, while her husband went and worked at the psych ward because he was a doctor at the psych ward. So she pitches a tent. She's there alone. Starts going to knock on the door. Guy with a creepy eye is there saying, hey, when you went out to your car, I saw someone sneak into the house. You're not there alone. And open the door. I need to check it out for you. And she's like, well, no, creepy guy. I'm not going to let you in this house. So, spoiler, she gets murdered.
Okay.
It sets up the whole movie. It's right in the beginning. So it's not really one of the twins gets murdered. Right. And that's where this movie starts. We don't know who murdered her. We don't know what happened, because the last thing you see is her going to unlock the door to possibly let this gentleman in, but you don't know. So her twin is blind, and she full of oddities. So she is very in touch, in tune with uh, ghostly spirits, things like that. So she thinks a bunch of the stuff in the shop is haunted, things like that. Um, and she, by holding somebody's personal effects, can figure everything out about this person and this item and everything else. What's psychic or whatever. So she's convinced that her sister was not murdered by the guy who was convicted of murdering her. And at the 1 year of her passing, goes and surprise pops in on her sister's ex-husband and wants to stay the night at this house. She gets this trunk delivered to the house. Um, and what's inside is this creature made of wood that was her mother's, and it's real weird, but it they get it out and set it at the table in the dining room. Um, and from there on out, there's some ghostly sightings, there's some weird stuff going on, and there's some craziness ensues. But most of the movie is, 3, 4 people inside this one creepy old house. And, it's a low budget indie horror movie that I had a really good time with, especially for something I had no idea what it was going in, hadn't heard of it. There was no advertising for it. I just saw it and said, let's roll the dice and go in. And I had a good time watching Oddity.
If I may, right now, as you were explaining the movie, I went to our friends, imdb.com,
Yes.
looked at Oddity, and the
Yes.
trailer was playing with no sound. But as you were speaking, everything you were saying was happening on the screen. And I just watched a trailer narrated by you, and I don't want to watch any other trailer if it's not like that. Because that was, there's moments in time in your life where things sync so well, it's near scary.
Yeah.
And this was one of them right now. And I am intrigued. So the IMDb gives it 7.5 out of 10. What'd you give it?
That's pretty good for a horror movie.
For a low budget, it's not bad,
yeah,
right?
I'm right there with it. I'd give it, 3.5 out of 5. So right there, about the 7.5. Yeah, indie horror. And you know what? I've liked a lot of the stuff coming out of the UK. I think one of my favorite movies last year was a UK horror movie called Talk to Me. I'm liking what they're doing over there.
Shout out to our friends on the other side of the pond.
That's right.
Fish and Chips. So with that, I also see it's 107 on the charts, on the IMDb charts. So it's really interesting that you said it's got no advertising, it's got no marketing.
Right.
How do these movies even get to this point?
Good question.
There's got to be
some of these movies only get like a week run in certain theaters. It might just be I'm in the right place at the right time. A lot of these other theaters that I've been to haven't been playing this, and it came out this week. I think it came out on the 19th. So maybe every theater did get it. It's the first time that I just went and actually saw it in the app to go and see.
Is it an AMC theater, Regal theater?
It was a Regal theater I went to. I have the Regal Unlimited with all the movies I see. It's interesting because the only movie theaters around me and my house are AMC. But when I'm home, I tend to go to the movies less because that's when I'm spending time with the family and everything. Mm-hmm. So on the road where my properties are that I run, there's a lot of Regals around, and that's what I ended up. So it's a good deal for me. Hell, I've been in the movie 3 times in the last week. So, and I'm going again tomorrow.
Was it a long movie? Was there any dragging parts?
No, it was our
rate of play was good, so to speak.
Yeah, it was a little over an hour and a half, hour 37, like standard, real easy to get through. these days that's less than standard. These days, under
That's
2 hours,
true.
you're like,
3 hours or
oh,
bust.
that was quick. Yeah. Um, no, I didn't think it dragged at all. I thought it kept a good tempo throughout. You know, it went creepy, and then there was a couple jump scares in it that got me good. Uh,
That
good,
concept seems
good
really
pacing
interesting.
throughout it.
The wooden thing I'm seeing images
Yeah,
of right now. That seems real different in this type of genre. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Because to your point, they're really mixing that horror and kind of magic fantasy.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much so. Very much so. We're like, all right, where are they going with this? And that's what was fun. That's what was anything, a little bit different than because I've seen a lot. So anything a little bit different intrigues me. And I think they went, a little off to the side on this one. You know, I did see some things coming, but it's hard not to see some things coming anymore. Like it's hard to do something that surprises people anymore, especially if you see as much as I do. Where
That's
it's like,
exact that's exactly what I was gonna say. For
yeah,
someone who's not only a movie aficionado, but also looking past that, even I mean, because how much wrestling we watch, and we can always predict what the next move is. It's just kind of in our
yeah,
nature.
yeah,
And you've kind of thought about all the things that might happen, and I'm sure this one caught you off guard. I had no clue, or like, so what? It begs the question: what can studios, what can movies do in the future to really surprise somebody in the general public that we think we have seen it all?
yeah. It's tough. It's tough. I know um, there are writers and directors. One of my favorites, Kevin Smith, that when he was writing things like Red State and Tusk, which is not his normal genre, he said every time I thought I knew where the story was going, I banked a left and did something completely different to try and just not do the predictable route. And I think that's what people want to do. I think they've been going for shock value more than anything. There's a movie Long Legs that's come out, which I almost went to, but Oddity just intrigued me because I hadn't heard of it. So I went to that instead of Long Legs. And I know Long Legs, from what I've heard, people enjoy it. And I think there's one part of the movie that's shocking. So it must be intensely gross or something like that.
Mm.
And I think they go for that more than trying to deliver a unique storyline anymore. It's like, hey, what's one shocking scene that we can make really gruesome or gory that people will talk about? It's just like, whatever. I like I like a unique story.
Mhm. The one that makes your head scratch or makes you feel like existential crisis when you leave the movie theater, something that really
Exactly.
fucks with your head rather than someone getting hit by a car, or
Yep. 100%.
yeah. You want that long lasting burning, not just that quick release. That sounds gross. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it begs a question because you'll have the writers and directors and the production companies who just want that shock. But I'm hoping to see we can see or something like the Blair Witch, because do you like leading up to that movie? I mean, who didn't think that shit was real?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
how hard would that be to pull off today? To fake
Oh god,
to fake something.
impossible.
It's impossible.
That was a product of its time. Perfect timing. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
impossible.
Like I feel in different levels, something like Oddity can get in there mentally. Not so much visually where we think that's real,
Yeah.
but to set off the same aspect of that's different, that's insane, and it's gonna scare me after I leave here. Because just looking at images of that wooden thing, I don't like it.
Yeah, creepy, right?
Not cool. I don't consent to see this movie.
Yep. To bank a left of our own, since we talked about it the last time me and you got together, you have been to the movies and saw a movie that I discussed briefly called Inside Out 2.
Yes, yes, I did. I saw it at For the kids listening at home, you might want to type this into your Google machine because you might not know what this is. I saw this movie at a drive-in theater.
Ooh.
That's where you take your car. Now, what a car is, it's a motor, it's a buggy with a motor. You've probably seen them on the road all the time. But you sit in there and you watch the movie with other cars around you. It's really cool. So I got a pickup truck. I put the mattress in the back, threw some pillows. Me and my girlfriend got real cozy, watched a double feature, and one of them was Inside Out 2.
Beautiful.
She was super stoked to see it. I don't want to say I wasn't. I had not seen the first one, but I know the concept of the film. Your different emotions and how they play into your everyday life. So
Yeah.
I understood the concept. So going in, I was familiar with the different types of emotions. Now I know the second one is different because they're introducing a new one, anxiety,
A bunch of new ones.
a bunch of new ones. I shout
But
out to
one main
embarrassment.
one.
Shout out to my homie embarrassment. It's probably
Yeah.
my favorite one.
Yeah.
Uh, he could, that's my boy. So as one who experiences anxiety just driving in a parking lot, I wanted to drive out of this drive-in movie theater while watching this because
You felt it too?
they they've done such a tremendous job to have that feeling come out of that screen right into your body, and I don't like it. I really
Right.
don't,
Right.
because even the story with the little girl, she's going to sports camp and she's doing those actions that create anxiety, and she gets embarrassed, she's afraid she's not gonna make the team, coach thinks she's a kid, all these different things.
Right.
I I was looking at my girlfriend, I told her, I was like, I don't like this because I was like, uh where's my anxiety pills, because this is too much. But I think it's great in how it's giving that message to the kids and
Right.
how they can relate to it. But it's also bleeding into the adults because I related very well to it.
Right.
Um, I don't have any kids, but if I did, I would definitely take them to this film because even if they're not into sports, I think it could just relate to anything that they're into, any hobby or just learning about
Oh
new
yeah, just
ability.
wanting to fit in and
Exactly,
have
exactly.
other kids think you're cool and absolutely.
I mean, you don't think that was me at my first major show? You know what I mean? Like, I was like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" But I really enjoyed it. I love the humor because one thing about kids movies now is they really think about the parent, and they really think about the one that it's really not aimed to. So they always put in jokes that are appropriate for the parent or the older brother or the older sister who's going, because they
Absolutely.
got to keep them entertained too and kind of tap into that. Hey, adults have this stuff too.
Yeah.
Um, it'd have been really cool if they highlighted anxiety in the parents a little bit.
Right.
I think that would have been pretty cool. Um, but I think I want to go back and watch the first one. Um,
Yes, you do.
yes, I do. I know someone who is just like Joy,
Yeah.
and I kid you not, they are this splitting image, and I think I'd rather hang out with anxiety. Because, dude, because sometimes Joy is like, bro, shut up, like stop. I'm gonna hang out with Sadness. She's chill,
Oh
like
man.
like
Sadness is super chill.
sadness, embarrassment, and boredom. I want to hang out with them.
Boredom was hilarious.
Boredom looks like
Uh,
Sherry and Terry from The Simpsons.
yeah.
So I'm cool with that. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to see what they're gonna do if there's a third one and what else they could bring in.
Yeah.
Maybe grief.
So oof. That would be a harsh that'd be a hard one of her parents die. Like,
Yeah, that's
holy
what I'm saying.
I mean, we are talking a Disney movie, and both the parents have made it through 2 movies at this point, which is more than parents ever live in a Disney movie. So I
I
guess
feel like what literally you just said can be like a 5-part video on YouTube. The parents made it past 2. Better yet, Andy's mom. How long has she been alive?
Oh yeah, but just his mom. Dad's dead.
We never found out what happened to Pops.
He's gone. It's a Disney movie.
Never fucking made it.
The fact that she's had 2 parents this entire time is insane.
Is this something you'll be rewatching?
Absolutely. I love Disney movies.
You'll watch it with the kiddos?
I will buy this movie. I own a ton of Disney movies. I will rewatch it. I've watched the first one over and over, and I think you'll love it. It's a journey through her mind a little bit more than part 2 is, and I don't know. Just for the character Bing Bong. Bing Bong. You want just trust me on this. Remember the name.
I'd like to see it's gonna sound stupid. But you know how if you like go to a high school reunion, everyone like takes a big picture? It'd be cool to see a Pixar picture of like all the different people from the movie. So it'd be like this little girl, Andy, the girl from Monsters Inc., all these different characters. I think that'd be pretty cool because
I'm sure it exists.
Yeah. Let me ask AI after we're done here.
Absolutely. That would be cool.
Yeah.
And you can meet them all at Disney.
Yeah. 8x10.
Yeah. Let's shift again. Because I saw another horror movie.
Yeah. Which, who knows? That could be the next emotion.
It could be. Yeah. Also about a little girl.
Oh.
Recently added to Peacock, I believe, is Abigail. This is one I wanted to see in the theaters bad, but timing never worked out for me actually getting to see it. So, we got a group of people kidnapping a little girl out of her home to ransom for her rich father. They go and they chain her up in a bedroom of this weird house where Giancarlo Esposito greets them and says, "Thanks for kidnapping this girl for us. Stay here for the night, and we should have the ransom by morning. Just make sure that nobody gets in, nobody gets out until tomorrow. I'll see you in 24 hours. Surprise! This little girl that they kidnapped is a blood-sucking vampire.
Got him.
So,
fuckers.
They figure that out, try to leave, and as you'd expect, there's bars on everything. Everything closes up. There's no escape. They have kidnapped a child right into their own trap. And it's going to be one hell of a night.
Instant justice.
Instant justice. Because right away, you're like, all these people were fine kidnapping a 10-year-old girl and chaining her up. Like, you're all pieces of shit. So what happens to you from here on out, I don't care. And I'm in for it. And this is one of my favorite horror movies I've watched this year, easily. I'd throw it at a 4 out of 5 star, and I had such a good time with it. It was fun to see a vampire movie like this. And it's a little cute girl who loves ballet. She does ballet through the whole thing, but then like it's also gruesome and weird and fun.
That was one thing I was going to mention. It had to have been funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
It had to have been funny because seeing all these bad people just get that instant justice, you're like, "Ooh, got him!" It's like, like watching the burglars from Home Alone getting there.
Yeah, exactly. These are piece of shit people, and you're like, but there's definitely funny moments in them just between these piece of shit people too. So
It's
it
not like you
definitely
feel bad for
it's
them either.
mostly horror, but it mixes in comedy. It does some cool stuff with that, and it's a great time. It's a fun time at the movies. Um, it's not over the top extreme or anything. Like it's not a hard to watch horror movie. There's not a ton of like jump scares. There's not. It's just like horror movies can be fun. Like one of my favorites of all time, Lost Boys. There's nothing too overtly scary or jump scares or anything else in that. Those are just vampires who like to party, and it's a good time. Like it's a fun time at a horror movie, and that's what this was. Not as good. Lost Boys is one of the best of all time, but this was a fun time at a horror movie.
Our friends at IMDb give it a 6.6 out of 10. Seems kind of low.
That's not bad. That's not bad for IMDb.
Not bad, huh?
I've seen IMDb give things like a 2, and I've enjoyed them. Like I don't. It's weird because I'm here telling everyone my opinion, but most of the time I don't agree with critics' opinions, and I've been a critic since for 20 years now. Basically, I'm just doing it in a different medium now. But I used to write for the newspaper as a critic.
And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, we don't want to listen to mainstream critics. That's
Yeah,
why you gotta listen to Hey Buddy
that's
to
right.
get the real opinions
The
from the ground
complete
floor. We're not paid here by big companies to give you an actual opinion and a paid opinion. This is
right.
real. This is real from the heart.
This is how I truly felt. I think you should check out Abigail. If you got Peacock, it's free. All you gotta do is click a button. Why not?
Why not? All
Let's
right.
go back to children though.
Yeah, let's go back to sunshine and rainbows. Let's go ahead and walk away from the blood and guts.
And into little yellow guys.
Little yellow guys. No, we're not talking about the Simpsons. We're talking about the Minions. That's right, Despicable Me 4 recently released in theaters. Have you caught this one, Joshua?
I have not.
Well, I
You
have.
caught me on one I didn't. And it's
Uh,
unreal because I have watched the first 3 as well as the Minions movie a dozen times. Like my 2-year-old's obsessed with them at the moment. I've watched them so many times.
well, I'm the complete opposite. This is my first Minion slash Despicable Me movie.
Wow.
Never seen them before. I know who they are. I know the little noises they make. I know there's millions of them. Never sat down and watched the film, and I will say I was pleasantly surprised. I don't think I really needed to know the previous movies to kind of get a grasp because I think this movie did a pretty good job of setting up context of past references and things of that nature,
Right.
which I think kids' movies do a great job if there's a series of them.
Yeah.
Um, Well, I thought it was great. As I mentioned with Inside Out 2, there's a lot of scenarios and situations that are both for the parent and the kids. But it is your stupid, silly kid movie, the butt jokes and the things of that
Oh
nature.
yeah. They
A lot
are
of butts. They love
well
the butts.
known well known for their fart and butt jokes.
I mean, I love a fart joke any day of the week. And they had a couple good ones. I know like one of the little minions was stuck in the vending machine the whole movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. It's funny. It's
I
funny.
love I
I'm not
love
gonna
the
lie.
minion. The minions make me laugh because
I'm
they
not gonna
are
lie to
just
you. The whole car ride there, I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this. It's gonna be so annoying. I'm gonna hide in the truck during this movie, and I'm glad I watched it
yeah.
because it's good. Will I go out of my way to watch the other ones? If I'm sitting at the airport and it's on, I'll watch it.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but if I'll watch any ones that come out after this because I think Michael Scott did a great job with his voiceover. I mean, him. Oh man, I can't even think of his real.
I had it in my head the whole time that you were talking, and you
Steve
just threw me
Carell.
off. Yes,
Thank you,
you
Steve Carell.
threw me. You threw me right off.
Oh man, dude, I'm sure he hates that. It's like when people see Mark Hamill in the street. Oh my God, Luke Skywalker! Like, oh, but yeah, I thought it was good. I thought the plot was good. Um, I'm glad it's not a Disney movie because Steve Carell's character would have died by now.
It's very true. Especially taking in 3 orphan girls. Like as soon as they made him care and everything in the first movie, dead.
Dead. And that's the difference between DreamWorks or Illumination and Disney.
Yeah.
Illumination is like, if we keep them alive, we'll make more money.
Minions are funny though.
They're good. They're good. I like how
immature little boys, basically,
Yeah.
like that laugh when each other get hurt and slapping and farting and like it's. I find it humorous myself still.
and it's not like hardcore violence of them hitting each other.
No,
You know what I mean?
it's little
it's not
boys.
being
It's
scratchy
a
here.
bunch of little boys screwing around.
Yeah, playful, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Minions are for the kids. Minions are okay. They're not dropping F-bombs. They're just saying nonsense. So
Right.
yeah, I want to see. I'll see more of them. We'll see more of the Minions in the future. I'm sure. I doubt they'll ever stop making them.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right. Thumbs up.
Thumbs
Even
up.
though
I give it a thumbs
your
up.
first experience with it, which is nuts because it's their 5th movie.
I want to see. I want to see a.
You're
Minion
watching a
movie
bunch.
more.
You're watching a bunch of sequels that you missed all the, movies prior.
Hey, but the movies do a great job setting up the context of the previous one. So it's one of those. It attests to how good they are because you could just pick it up from anywhere.
There you go.
It's like watching Days of Our Lives or Young and the Restless. Just pick it up anywhere.
Well, I headed over to Amazon Prime and I watched a sequel myself.
Oh,
But I saw the original, and this was called My Spy: The Eternal City,
interesting.
starring Dave Bautista.
Oh, Big Dave.
That's right. So a couple of years ago, it might have been 2020, probably 2020, because I think it was pandemic time. He came out with My Spy, and it's his version of Wrestler and Little Person.
His chaperone.
His chaperone, his Mr. Nanny, his Tooth Fairy, as you would, except he's a spy, and this little girl wants to do spy espionage stuff with him. Since the original, now he has married this little girl's mother, and she's growing up, and he actually, speaking of chaperone, he is a chaperone on her school trip to Rome. I want to say Rome. Somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's Rome where they end up. But, And guess what? Some spy shit's going down. Once they get over there. One of the kids gets kidnapped, and he's got to spring into action, even though all he wanted to do was chaperone a school trip. So, these are PG-13, but they definitely make me feel like a Mr. Nanny Tooth Fairy. Like they should have cut back on a few things to make them PG because they are a fun, like an action kids movie. I love Dave Bautista. I think he's a fantastic actor, and I like him in everything I've seen him in. He's got range. He's definitely much different in this than as Drax or in Knock at the Cabin, things like that. So I have a good time with these movies. They're both over on Amazon Prime. They're Amazon Prime movies like themselves. And you know, uh, check them out. I threw this. Where did I throw this at? I threw this at a 3 out of 5 as well. It's a good time. It's not going to change. It's not doing anything new. It's not going to change cinema in any way. But you can sit down and have a really good time, fun time watching it. Um, it's got action. It's got laughs. It's got uh, and a lot of other good names too. Did you pull it up on IMDb there?
Well, I was about to say lightning has struck twice because you have narrated a trailer once again. As it was happening, 'cause it was so funny because you're like, she's older now, and the trailer said she's older.
No way.
Word to God. So,
Oh, that's funny. So yeah,
this
it's also
was
got
fun.
Ken Jeong.
Yeah,
It's got
I was about to
Anna
say,
Faris. It's got Craig Robinson. Like some of my favorite comedians, but it's also an action movie.
yeah, it's got Louise from Bob's Burgers.
Yes. Yep. That's his that's his partner. She was in the first one as well. Ken Jeong's in the first one as well. It's been, 4 years since I watched the first one, but I do remember them being in it.
You know,
And Craig Robinson, I absolutely love. So
people will say what they want about streaming. However, streaming really does open up a door for movies like this. Because let's
yeah,
be real, if a movie like this had a theatrical release, I really don't think it'd do well because it would just kind of, kind of dissipate
fizzle.
in the fray
Yeah,
of all the movies. But I'm really glad that, no one has to, oh, I missed it in the movie theater. It's just already instantly to streaming. So streaming definitely has its purpose, and this movie is a perfect example of how its purpose is performing.
absolutely.
Along with Batista, I think he's up there with the best wrestler to actor.
Yeah.
Um, we've come a long way from Suburban Commando and The Nanny.
Hey,
So
Suburban Commando's a classic.
I love it. But
But
Hogan's acting
Hogan, no, no, it's not.
uh, shout out to Doc Brown in that movie.
Yeah.
Um, but I love Batista. I know you hit it spot on, dude. His range is insane, and it's either going to be him and Cena for to me that are the best wrestler actor transition.
Absolutely. Cena, I like better as an actor than I ever did as a wrestler. I think because my age, Cena hit when I was just a little too old to be in his demo, you
Hmm.
know. So I always appreciated who he was. I always saw him as, who he was meant to be, the new face. But he was never my guy as a wrestler, but he's my guy as an actor. I love how he doesn't take himself too seriously. Batista takes himself super seriously. He wants to be known as a great actor. Cena takes some of the weirdest, funniest roles that ever expect him to be in, and he has me laughing at everything he does, and I love him in these movies he's picking
Like,
and
can you
TV
imagine
shows.
if The Rock tried to do Ricky Stenicki?
No, no,
Absolutely not. Even Batista, and Batista's
right,
hilarious, but he couldn't
right,
do it.
no, no,
Cena,
no.
Cena really threw
Vacation
himself out
Friends.
there.
I loved Vacation. I
Mm.
told John Cena when I met John Cena how much I loved Vacation Friends because the first one had just dropped, and that was the God's honest truth. I thought he was so funny in that. When he did you see it?
I haven't seen that one.
I think that's on Hulu. There's two of them. The first one blew me away. He's so funny.
And you know what? And talk about range. He's a spokesperson for Honda.
Right.
I was watching TV the other day, and it was like Honda. We power dreams. I was like, John,
Do I
John,
want a
that you?
Honda now? Was that
Yeah,
Cena? I don't-
that you. I know it's you because I can't see you.
Oh,
But yeah, man, Uh,
Absolutely.
My Spy.
My
I gotta check it
Spy.
out.
Yeah, it's fun. It's not, it's not my top Batista movie, but sit back, relax, have a good time with it. Okay. So you saw one more,
Yes,
and I'm interested in hearing about this because I was looking at this on my plane ride last week.
yeah, I was at my dad's birthday party a couple weeks ago, and my aunt recommended that I watch The Long Game on Netflix. And my girlfriend and I checked it out. I was super skeptical at first just because how the movie opens. Being in film production, I mean, it's just like when you figure out how wrestling really works. After
Yeah.
you watch it, it's kind of not the same. Uh, I am doing that with movies now, and I don't like it. After making movies, and then you realize how this shit works, you're like, oh, come on, why'd you come on, pal? So the way the way visually how this movie started, it looks like it was shot on iPhone,
Okay.
but it's like not like oh, just it's on my phone. Like okay, you can tell this was intentionally professionally shot, but it was used. An iPhone was used.
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, it's cool." And you could technically make movies on iPhone, after some editing, it'll look okay. But this one, I was like, I feel like they didn't even fucking try.
Oh shit.
10 minutes goes by and you forget that's all there,
Okay.
which was good to me because I needed that gone.
Right.
Um, so now we'll go into the story, so I can move away from the aesthetic. So, the premise of the movie is there's a group of young Hispanic males. This takes place in 1950s, 1960s area. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And these group of young Hispanic boys are caddies, golf caddies at a local golf course.
Okay.
So they're doing their caddy job. Cool. Um, Enter a former serviceman, I believe, is in the First World War or had some war experience. And this gentleman's trying to get a membership at this country club.
Is this
And
Dennis Quaid?
no, this is Dennis Quaid comes in a little later. I forget this gentleman's name. What is it called? Guy's name. Um, Let me find this out.
Jay
So,
Hernandez?
Jay Hernandez, yes. So Jay Hernandez is looking to get a country club membership, and due to it being 1955, they tell him, "Hey, I'm sure you're great and all. However, you're just probably not best at our country club
Yeah.
because we're racist."
Right.
And
Gotcha.
and he's like, "Yeah, but I'm not taking that." And they're like, "Yeah, sorry, pal." And they're like, "Okay." So these boys that are the golf caddies are aspiring golfers. They find some land that no one's using, some hills, and they end up building their own kind of makeshift golf course for them to practice because they're so passionate about it.
Okay.
So one day, Mr. Jay Hernandez is driving his car down the road, and one of the boys decides, hey, bet you I can hit that car. Hits the car, story begins. Jay Hernandez looks at these boys and be like, y'all trying to golf? And they're like, yeah. He's like, let me show you. And they're like, yeah. And then one of the boys is like, not me. And so the boy that says not me goes back to his dad and tells his dad, oh, um, this guy's trying to teach us golf and potentially start a golf team so we can, play at these golf courses and so we can, show the show them that, we can also play.
Right.
And the dad of the boy tells the boy, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that because all they're going to do is end up laughing at you because us being Hispanic, we're either the help or the entertainment. And they're not going to take you seriously.
Right.
So he decides not to practice with his friends. His friends are practicing with Mr. J. Hernandez. They're doing great. As every story happens, He comes around. He joins the team. They end up getting pretty good. They start going on tournaments. As you can imagine, they're all being berated at each tournament they go to. It's a really feel
Right.
good story. Um, they end up winning, but it at to get to that point, they're going through so much prejudice, so much against them that it's a very uplifting story. And this is a type of movies that I really like because it happened.
Okay. So
I
this
love
is based on a true story.
based on a true story.
Okay,
Now,
cool.
I will say Dennis Quaid is Jay Hernandez's war buddy, so it's Dennis Quaid and Jay Hernandez who code up
Oh,
the team,
okay.
and it's awesome. I like it. If if you like any stories about racism being beat, this is the story. Um, if you like golf, this is a good story. If you like a feel good story, this is a good movie. Like I liked it. Aesthetically, I think they could have done a better job. You can tell that the actors used are still early in their careers, which is fine because they had to get young
Your
cats.
main, yeah, the ones
Yeah.
that he's teaching.
hmm
Okay.
But Dennis Quaid is Dennis Quaid. Awesome. Jay Hernandez is great. I think they caught the 50s aesthetic very well in the sense of clothing and set pieces and things like that. It felt genuine. Um, I liked it. I recommend everyone watch it.
Nice.
Long Game from our friends at Netflix.
It's also got my pal Cheech Marin.
Oh, it's got Cheech Marin. Yeah, his name is Pollo in the movie. He's the wise man, the old wise man in this movie. He's the one that speaks
His
reason.
name's Chicken.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Um, yeah. Everyone, get on it. Turn on your smart TV. Get it going.
Very cool. Yeah. All right. Now I wish I would have watched that on the plane instead of what I did watch, which I'm not even covering on this show ever because it's not worth talking about.
Wow.
Yeah. Cool. That covers movies. I'm just gonna quickly talk about one show because we're trying to do a little shortened episode. I apologize to listeners, or actually, you might enjoy it. Sometimes I like me a nice short episode that's not 3 hours long.
So
Um,
bite-sized content.
yeah, I mean, we're still gonna hit the hour mark, so it's decent. I like that. That's decent. So, you know what? I don't want to hear any complaints. Anyway, I on my way to lovely Pennsylvania this week. Checked out a new limited series over on the Netflix called Dirty Pop, the
Dirty
boy
Pop.
band scam.
Ooh.
3-part limited series on Netflix about good old Lou Pearlman.
Oh, Luke Pullman.
Yes, so those who don't know, Lou Pearlman put together the Backstreet Boys, put together NSYNC, put together O Town, put together uh, one of those other bands, the one that's saying "I love girls that wear Abercrombie and Fitch," LFO. He's Mr. Boy Band. Like he put these bands together. He had them living the Ric Flair lifestyle, jet flying, limousine riding before they were ever even big. Like from the start, he sold them on this extravagant lifestyle, and that's how he got them to do this boy band stuff. Because guess what? They weren't stars overnight. Some of them were, but the Backstreet Boys, the ones he started with, definitely weren't. They were singing outside of school buses and handed, you know, promo photos to the people on the school bus and singing in high school gyms and stuff. Um, so it covers like early Backstreet Boys stuff, which I never knew. You know, they spent some time before actually hitting it big. they hit big in Germany before they were ever big over in the United States. So that was pretty cool. So it shows you a bunch about the boy band scene and everything, but it also dives deep into Lou Pearlman, who, once again, this stuff that he pulled off would never happen these days. He was a first class forger, basically. He got in with some bad people. Uh, he forged a lot of stuff to get a lot of bank loans. And he owed a lot of people money. He got a lot of people to buy into a fake business and took a lot of people's life savings with him, um, all to give you these boy bands that everybody loves so much. This very bite-sized, easy, snackable content. It's only 3 episodes. Is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. And it's got some. I was never a boy band guy, but I can, I can get behind. They have some catchy songs, man. So you hear them and you're like, oh yeah, um,
Because that ain't no lie, baby. Bye,
yeah,
bye, bye.
that's right. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it goes over NSYNC and Backstreet Boys suing him because the first Backstreet Boys album that made millions upon millions, like everybody in the band got 10 grand or something like that out of the deal. It is just fascinating. Like, this guy stole so much money from so many people who had no money. They invested their life savings, and still the amount of people who won't say anything bad about this guy because they said he was so nice. Like, he was a nice guy to be around, and people loved him. Um, and at the same time, he's a crook. He's a crook. He's took everything from people. Like, it is a fascinating story. Whether you're uh, a boy band fan or anything like that, this is a much bigger story than that, and it's absolutely fascinating.
You know what? I think this could still happen today.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I see. If you want, a lot of it is what with the bank scandal stuff.
Okay.
Um,
I think that'd be a little harder, but easier
like,
to say in
he
crypto.
was forging things and faxing them and things like that. Where a lot of digital, I guess it could, but it would have to be a different route.
A new age version of this can happen for sure.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, a new age version. What he did,
yeah. I mean, it's
absolutely.
a
Yeah.
yes, it's a
People,
Ponzi scheme, basically.
exactly. And according to our friends at Google, so he took over 500 million with,
Yes,
and only
yes,
back 10.
yes.
I mean,
That's
he
all
can't
they've been able
anymore,
to
or his
locate.
estate might. But I mean,
Right.
that's insane. I mean, he runs a lot of parallels to Dan Schneider from Nickelodeon.
Uh-huh.
It's really that time frame of these these predators, if you will, just kind of banking on that teen scene, and it's
See,
insane,
but
dude.
he's different. Everybody says they never got creepy vibes off of him or anything like that. But then you'd have one other person say he'd ask to see the guy's abs and stuff like that. But I've watched the Nickelodeon documentary too, and I've watched this. There's not as many like, they seem like completely different
Types of predators in a sense.
psychology. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
was more manipulator in the sense of like showering with niceness and things like that.
yeah. I mean, I think he just liked living it. He grew up, this fat kid that his nickname was Fat Kid that people made fun of, and he built a fake life for himself. And it wasn't just showering these guys with this stuff and making these superstars, but he built himself in as the sixth Backstreet Boy, as the sixth member of NSYNC. He became part of the cool group. He built this fake life for himself because he was so miserable growing up in this real life situation. Um, I don't know. That's what I got out of it. I recommend people watch it. It's over on Netflix. It's fascinating.
Yeah. Legit, what a time to be alive during the boy band craze, man.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to see any of the big acts during that time?
No, I didn't
No.
care to. I was during boy band time, I was middle school, high school. I was listening to Korn, uh, metal bands during the boy band craze. I didn't appreciate the boy band till later when they were gone.
When they were gone?
Yeah, there was a span of time where they were gone before coming back out with the,
Right.
New Kids on the Block Boys, Backstreet Boy tour together and things like that. But
Mhm.
once they fell off from being these giant things, it's just growing up. It's growing up and being like, wow, this is a catchy song. You can appreciate those things back when, I'm listening to metal and be like, oh, this boy band shit.
Mhm.
That's growing up.
Here's to hoping that we get another wave of boy bands in America.
Just K-pop now. That's it.
No, we got to take it back. USA. USA. We could dance.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah, I think I'll definitely check that out. I'm a big fan
Yeah.
of miniseries like this, especially when they're like 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah, so easy to get through.
So easy to get through, and it's very just seamless. And I like it's chopped up because if I saw something that was 4 hours long, I'd be like, oh no.
Right.
So yeah, I'm all about it.
Yeah. That's all I got for you this week.
That's all I got too.
Thank you once again for joining me, Alejandro.
Happy to be here.
Remind people where they can find you.
Yeah, if you want to find me, bug me, text me, whatever you want to do, you can find me on Instagram, Calexfornia _CALEXFORNIA_, or you can catch me on the X, the Twitter, at Vacant Vision. Also, check out my video Instagram at Vacant Vision Prod, all one word.
Vacant Vision Prod.
Yeah.
I'll put that in the show notes if you need help finding it.
Absolutely. And also, don't forget, visit Hey Buddy on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and the Patreon. Be one of the exclusive members. Get all the perks. Not only the perks, also head over to the Spread Shop. Get yourself a tea.
Well, that shop's closed, so don't go over there.
Don't go to the shop. Shop's closed. We'll see you on the next one. Wash your hands. Wrong show.
Yep.
Wrong show.
But shout out, Nick. We love you anyway.
Yeah.
Hey Buddy was brought to you by Steve, Wanda, John, and Sharon. Thank God they